Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve podcast takes a close-up look at controversial subject matter and hot-button topics, adding humor, cynicism, and a dose of reality to the stuff we're not supposed to talk about anymore. Politics, religion, sex, gender identity, violence, corruption. Nothing is left unturned in this lighthearted approach to information dissemination. The world is experiencing a pandemic of cowardice. 80% of people do not believe the craziness they've been coerced to agree with. Grab a friend, grab a beverage, and dive in with us as we take on the narrative and blast social stigmas with truth. Here are your hosts, Patriots Ray Amanat and Steve Reed.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, America, wherever you're at, listening to our show on social media, Facebook, Twitter, all of the above with the OBBM network, as well as on, of course, YouTube. My name is Ray Amanat with Taboo Talk here in sunny Port Richey, Florida, and my co-host, Mr. Steve Reed, somewhere in an undisclosed safe house, as always, in northern Texas. Mr. Reed, how are you doing? I think we're going with the name Clucky for our chicken, so those of you that are watching or listening, tell us what you think about Clucky.
So life is good here in North
Clucky,
Texas.
the communist chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Ray, it's kind of funny. We are obviously under the threat of global warming here in North Texas because the temperatures have been hovering around 100 plus for several weeks now, and I know it's so funny because I looked back at the calendar from last year, and we had the exact same thing happen last year. And then 2 years ago and 3 years ago.
I think it's just a little bit too much of this going on in Texas. Right. Yeah, that's why we have global warming.
I saw a great meme this morning that had a picture of ACO or OCA or Ocasio-Cortez, whatever her name is.
AOC.
Yeah, whatever. And it has a picture of her being a climate change expert. And she's a bartender, or was a bartender,
right.
And it had whatever the girl's name was from Sweden, or whatever the whiny crybaby. You're gonna kill us. You don't care about our generation,
right?
And it said that she was a high school dropout. So those are the experts that we are listening to when it comes to climate change.
You're fired.
Yes, they should be fired. I agree. Producer Debbie, thank you for giving us that information.
Oh, mercy. Ray, before we get going into this great episode that's coming up, that the title is Distract and Deflect. Distract and Deflect, okay? This is an opinion-based program, and it is our opinions. And because of our accuracy and everything, we are at like a 99% accuracy. So,
and we're here to educate and wake up our viewers and listeners. So wake up, America.
Yeah.
Clucky, settle down.
Yeah.
Settle down.
Ray, you're pitiful.
But we're here because we care and we want to see our country go in the right direction.
Exactly. Yes. So, yes, but this is an opinion-based program, not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors or OBBM network or any of our guests that we have on in the future, but we're spot on with everything.
We've got one of our viewers that just posted, climate change is real. It changes 4 times a year.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Nate, for that input.
That is so
You
true.
are absolutely correct.
Yes, that is so true. And sometimes it changes, 6, 7, 8 times a year. Sometimes it's 13 times a year.
Well, in Florida here, it's twice.
Yes.
We get spring, we get summer.
Yeah.
Hey, it's spring again, and it's
Yeah.
summer again.
Well, and in North Texas, where I am, we get hotter, and OMG. So, and it's hot. Okay. So somebody asked me, Steve, how hot is it where you are? It's about 78 degrees right now.
Yeah, you're in Texas. That's
What?
your neck of the woods. Hopefully, I'll make it down to Texas to do a collaborative
That would be
presentation
wonderful.
somewhere.
That would be wonderful. Ray, you missed what I was saying. It's 78 degrees
Right?
in my office. Okay.
I got you.
What kind of fool would spend any time outside when it's 104 degrees?
It went over my head. So
Yeah, I understand. I know that. All right. So today we're talking about distractions and deflections. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the news about President Trump and the guy that is occupying the White House right now.
makes you want to just shoot blood from your eyes and just
Absolutely.
just go on a little rage or rant about
But you know, Ray, I saw this meme yesterday or the day before, and I thought this so depicted the real president of the United States. So what do you think?
Yes. So for those of you that are listening and you can't see because you're not viewing our show, it's a meme of President Donald Trump wearing his cool sunglasses, unlike Joe Biden's little airplane sunglasses that he has. And it says, when you're on your third indictment, and it only makes the people love you more. When Trump gets indicted a fourth time in Georgia, I think that'll seal the deal. That puts the nail in the coffin for Joe Biden as far as re-election for president.
Well, and the funny thing is, and I don't have the specifics on it, but Jonathan Turnley, he is a law professor in the D.C. area. I want to say Georgetown University. He's looking at some of the things that are going on with Jack Smith, and he's saying Jack Smith is setting himself up for criminal charges as well. I'm like, yeah. And the judge there in Florida has already slapped Jack Smith because he did not release all of the information on the raid. And so Trump, is going to come back on that. And so, I mean, there are just so many things where they are trying to destroy Trump and keep him from even getting the nomination, much less winning.
I think these guys don't have a clue. They're just going after Trump. But I think by going after him and by doing all of these indictments, what they've done for Trump, this is how I see them helping Trump, is now they're able to get Trump's law team to open up everything to look further into the voter fraud that's been going on in those states. So let them indict him. Now he can legally say, okay, let's look at the facts. And let's bring out the facts and show that, yes, there was voter fraud. And
Yes.
He's going to flip it on every single one of them. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, that's a hallelujah moment.
So, Ray, without going into all the detail, let's do a real quick recap. You've got the Dominion voter fraud with all the machines that were tampered with.
Right.
You have the voter fraud where the votes were being sent overseas to be tabulated and tweaked and then sent back. You have the coding that sent things to China and then was tampered with and then sent back. Then you've got the video that Dinesh D'Souza came out with a year and a half ago, with the 2,000 mules, showing all of the people that were picking up, doing the harvesting, and taking them to drop boxes. And they'd take 20 or 30 to one drop box, and 10 minutes later they're at another drop box, and 30 minutes later they're at another drop box. It's all of that stuff is going
all
to
the
come
video
out.
evidence and all the other evidence is going to be able to come out. And here's the
Yes.
neat thing. All the stuff about Trump having documents in his house, he could say, well, let's take a deeper dive into all those documents and see what they really said. And it's going to uncover more corruption on the left.
Exactly.
I mean,
and then imagine if he can turn the tide or turn the tables and start, let's look at all of the documents that Joe Biden had in his garage and the China-sponsored office that he had in D.C. and his house in Wilmington. All of that stuff is like, they're a bunch of morons.
It's going to come out.
They are a bunch of morons. So, but now and I'm going back to that previous picture, Ray. So I hate to do this, but here's what you've got going on. Trump is just sitting back, cool, calm, and collected, and saying, "Go ahead, you just keep burning through all this stuff, and we will take every single one of you down." And here's a great depiction of what's going on. It's the deep state and their tentacles, and this is just a fraction of the fraction of the fraction of the deep state, showing our sea nettles or the jellyfish with Hillary and James Clapper and Biden and the media and so forth, King Zuckerberg and James Comey and so forth, all these people that have their tentacles, and Trump is going to get rid of every single one of them.
They all need to be fired. More arrested. They need to be arrested for treason or anything else.
I'm kind of thinking that Gitmo is going to be a very crowded place in about 2 years. So
let's hope so.
It can't happen soon enough. So, well, Ray, in some of the research that I've been doing, but also the research that our executive producer, Ms. Debbie Schofield, she has done once again a killer job of finding things. So I want to show one real quick video and tell me what you think.
Now is former Arkansas governor and former presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. Governor, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. Trump has a point. What do you make of all of these indictments?
This is an attempt to steer the presidential election of 2024. And it always just happens to come out when there's damaging information about the Biden crime family. Here's what really Republicans are grappling with. There's two schools of thought. One, Trump ought to get out because he's just got too much baggage. But the other school of thought, the one to which I subscribe, is Trump not only can't get out, we need to get behind him as never before, because if we don't, this becomes the new template to how to defeat a presidential candidate that you're scared of. You just use the government throttles and you go after it. You weaponize and politicize the Department of Justice, and you use all of the power of government that one sitting president can take on his opponent, not through the election process, but through the wheels of justice that you control. This is an outrage to our system, and in most, I think, egregious to this is that what they're really saying is Donald Trump said some things they don't like. So if free speech now is going to be criminalized and prosecuted, we're screwed.
Well, that's
well put, Governor Huckabee.
Yes.
Well put. It is so true. They're going after him for a lot of reasons. I mean, they don't like what he said. They don't like his mean tweets and so forth. But he's done nothing wrong. They're saying that he is not constitutionally protected to open his mouth and view his opinions on things, which is absolutely insane.
So to our listening and viewing audience, how do you like those gas prices? How do you like the price of food that you're purchasing?
Yeah.
How do you like your energy bill?
Yep.
How do you like the way the rise in crime in your areas?
Well,
If you don't see a contrast or a drastic difference between the previous administration and this one, wake up, America. Wake
right,
up.
right, and it gets even worse because not only is Biden leaving his footprint on all of the things that you just mentioned, but I hope you enjoy your gas stove. I hope you enjoy your gas water heater, because in another 10 or 15 years, if things go through the way the Biden administration is proposing, you won't be able to use those things anymore.
Well, hold on. I just got a breaking news that I saw earlier today. One of the companies that Joe Biden was touting about having electric buses,
Yeah.
one, they said the buses didn't work. They broke down all the time. Two, that company is now filing for bankruptcy. And this is a company that our tax dollars went to support them.
Ray, that reminds me, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it was, when Obama was pushing solar stuff and he put millions of dollars into Solyndra. And then a short time thereafter, that money laundering scheme that he came up with, Solyndra went bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
So the pattern continues way too often. So
I think we need to get to a commercial break.
I was
also.
just thinking that same thing. And so Ray, I want you to hold your socks because I had a really cool, brand new commercial for you.
That's what I want. Latch on as soon as you can, make it hard. If I stand on one leg, can you yank me off balance? Yeah. If I stand feet wide, can you pull me off balance? Come on, what's the matter with you? How you doing? What was the first thing she did? She walked away. She took her eyes off of me. She looked away. I take her purse. I run. She goes to security. She goes to law enforcement. They're going to say, well, what did he look like? And you're going to be like, it happened so fast. I didn't see him coming. You didn't see him coming because I made you feel uncomfortable. And you took your eyes off me and walked away. The whole point is, and this does not mean I want you to go and flirt and talk to the person, or I don't want you to go, I see you. I just want you to, that's a cool shirt. I'd like to get that because my kids are in soccer. I'm letting you know I'm aware of you. I'm letting you know I can describe you.
That's a cool video.
I'd love to do a big shout out to Patrick Booth, who helped make that. That was from a realtor seminar that we had done, talking about safety and how to be on guard, situational awareness, how to be more aware, what to say, and then what to physically do when somebody confronts you with bad intentions. So, the video's on YouTube, the video's on our Facebook page. I'm going to talk to my web host and get the video up on our website as well. But it's a little taste of what you can learn when you attend our training seminars for any topic, for any age, gender, or if you want us to come in for your work, we can do something specifically designed for what you do for a living. So.
But not only for your work, but if you've got a youth group or you've got a group of people that are challenged in some way, whether it's disabilities or maybe they're Democrats or socialists, they're challenged in certain ways, mentally, that is. So anyway, so Ray, would you give liberals self-defense training also?
I give everyone self-defense training. I don't discriminate.
Good for you.
So everyone that has a fear of safety or has some type of a fear, we want to give everyone the training because everyone has a God-given right.
There you
to
go.
Be safe in our country.
Good for you. Good for you. So, right, you need to keep doing things like this. That was a great post. That's a great video. So I can't wait to hear more about other organizations like that you're working with. So, all right, Ray, we got to keep going. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. So I want to share another video, and let me see if I've got this one queued up. Here we go.
Meantime, a former Obama White House official says he wants to testify to a federal grand jury because he says he has information about then Vice President Joe Biden's role in his son Hunter's business. But he says the FBI has been ignoring him.
Former Obama stenographer Mike McCormick joins us now. Mike, thanks for being here. You say you are a witness to a crime. Walk us through why you say that.
Yes. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
So in April 2014, I was in Air Force Two with Joe Biden and Jake Sullivan. At the time, no one knew that Hunter Biden was already on the board of Burisma Holdings, the natural gas conglomerate from Ukraine. Joe Biden is directing Jake Sullivan in the front of the plane what to say to the press. My job as a stenographer on the plane is to record what the vice president or a senior administration official says to the press. So I'm sitting back there with a tape recorder. Jake Sullivan comes back and somebody asks him about fracking. His answer is, well, we're bringing a lot of American assistance over for fracking. Burisma was the direct beneficiary of that fracking. And that's what I recorded. And that's in a White House transcript. In the transcript, you don't know who Jake Sullivan is. It's a senior administration official. I'm the witness that says Jake Sullivan is the guy who said it, and he should be investigated because at the time, Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma, and Joe Biden is bringing American taxpayer money to enrich that company and himself and his family.
Yeah, Mike, let me throw in a few dates here. Hunter joins the Burisma board April 18th, 2014. You have that conversation with Jake Sullivan April 21st, 2014, outlining how the U.S. would help Ukraine's gas industry with Joe Biden's help. Hunter's role not made public till May 12th, 2014. And then in December of that year, Congress approves $50 million to support Ukraine's energy sector. Ashley.
Holy smoke. The truth is coming out.
But nobody's being impeached. Nobody's being arrested. Nobody's having their home raided. Nobody's having anything that they've done to Trump. There's a double standards they're not doing to the Biden family.
Totally agree with you. Another real quick video. It's another stenographer video. And let me see if I can get this one pulled up.
Former Obama White House stenographer, that is an official White House position, we just learned. Mike McCormick is his name, and he's alleging that Joe Biden knew his son's every move, including his international business deals. Here is McCormick on Fox News.
I've left the White House, I'm writing books, and I get a hold of the Hunter Biden laptop from Marco Polo. They're a nonprofit, anti-corruption nonprofit. About a year and a half ago, I started writing a Substack based on what I find. And then I go back over what I knew happened when I was working for Joe. I found the transcript that I wrote about that briefing. That's when Jake Sullivan starts talking about fracking. And because of what I'd read in the laptop and reported in my Substack previously, I'm like, wait a minute, Joe Biden knew Hunter Biden was already on the board on April 18th. Joe Biden knew. He directed Sullivan to go back and talk to the press. This is a conspiracy. This is a crime. This is public corruption.
McCormick also said he went to the FBI with this information and nothing yet has been done.
According to Fox News Digital, Hunter Biden's former business partners and associates frequented the White House 80 times when President Obama was still in office and even met with then Vice President Biden's team on multiple occasions. President Biden has consistently denied having any knowledge of his son's business ventures, but visitor logs at Fox News Review tell a somewhat different story.
The clown show continues.
The plot gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and I mean,
so Ray, that was not too long ago that was broadcast.
Right.
I want to show you a little bit of a timeline. I got to share my screen a little bit different way. Let me see if I can make this work. Bear with me for 1 second. And let's see if we can see this. Can you see that all right, Ray?
I can see it, yes.
All right, this is a meme that I saw, I don't know, about a week, 10 days ago, something like that. And it shows an illustration of Joe and Hunter on the left side and President Trump on the right side. And here's the content between the two. Under Joe and Hunter, it says the criminals. And then, of course, President Trump on the other side. April 2023, the House hears testimony on Joe Biden's mishandling of classified documents. And within days, activist prosecutor Alvin Bragg indicts Donald Trump in New York. Gee, I wonder if there's any correlation between those two and the timing. I mean, it's just very interesting. Then in June of 2023, the FBI released documents alleging that there was a bribe from Burisma that the Bidens took, and I'll be darned, within days, activist prosecutor Jack Smith indicted President Trump in Florida.
This is where we say there's nothing to see here.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything is Trump. Everything is Trump.
Here's another one, and this is just in July, within the past month or so. Hunter Biden, his plea deal was rejected by a judge in Wilmington, Delaware. And imagine that, right after that, Jack Smith, prosecutor, adds more charges to the Trump indictment there in Florida. And here's one more. July 31st, the House hearing of the testimony showing the whistleblowers and so forth that Joe Biden was involved in phone calls with Hunter and the business partners. And I'll be darned if Jack Smith didn't release another indictment against President Trump, this time in D.C. Ray, I don't understand the timing of all of these things. What a coincidence! How in the world could that possibly be?
It's like they have whoever their media publicist or whatever is, and they're just doing damage control.
Totally.
And they're using the media, the mainstream media, to help cover it up. Let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about Trump,
exactly.
so that people forget about all things Biden.
Yeah. Well, again, it's deflection away from the Bidens. It's put things on Trump. So they're doing two things here. They're trying to mess with the election. Okay, they're trying to prevent Trump. Yes, again, they're trying to prevent Donald Trump from winning the presidency for a third time. And at the same time, they're trying to distract people away from the Bidens. So if you don't see the corruption, you are blind in one eye and can't see out of the other.
Right.
Plain and simple. It's mind-boggling that people are so naive as to believe this stuff. So, Ray, what do you think?
No, I'm just reading comments from some of our viewers. Which those of you that are listening to the show and you can't view it, you can view our show on a rebroadcast on Facebook. as well as on YouTube, so you can see the images that we're and the videos that we're playing as well. But the comment was they're deflecting from the fact about Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, and Hunter Biden needs more hookers and crack. I mean, it's if you want to make a comment, make a comment. We'd love to hear it. It just adds to the narrative. But again, it's two-sided. When it comes to the Democrats and people on the left, they get treated one way. When it comes to the people on the right, Governor Huckabee said it right, that this is the blueprint. That if Trump gets indicted, then that's how they're going to go after every other person that goes against their narrative, that wants to become leader of our country.
Yeah.
It won't matter who. That's exactly. They're just going to dig up trash or even using artificial intelligence, create bogus material to go after their enemies or go after the people that are going up against them.
You know, Ray, you saying that, and I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. With AI, there is so much sophisticated in that. You can have a 30-second phone conversation with somebody. You take that recording. If it's good enough, you take that recording. You now have mapped that person's voice.
Right.
And you can create a phone conversation or create something that it sounds like Donald Trump did whatever. It sounds like Mike Huckabee did something. You know, whoever that person is, and you can create all kinds of chaos with
you
this
can
stuff.
create video images that look like Donald Trump saying something, you or I saying something that never happened, and that that's going to be weaponized. It's going to be used against people, and there's got to be a way that you can have a fingerprint that shows it was AI and not a real video. I mean, that's the only way that we can really combat that.
But thankfully, every time they bring up more indictments and so forth, we've got Donald Trump who goes up in the polls. So yes, this is, folks, this is another image, or back to that original image of Donald Trump, our next president. And he's going to be the first person since FDR that was elected to the presidency 3 times. Of course, the second one didn't count.
And that means we have to go to another commercial break.
Right, then here we go.
Life isn't always sunshine and roses. Sometimes it's full of roadblocks. The kind that aren't as easy to fix as filling a hole or repairing a car. Personal roadblocks are another thing altogether. Why do I feel stuck? The same things anger me every time. Why am I doing this anyway? Fixing it yourself can be frustrating and confusing. And if more than one person is involved, DIY might mean destroy it yourself. Maybe it's time for another solution. Steve Reed shines a light on your roadblocks and helps you find the best way forward for you. Stephen Reed Ministries, bringing light and hope for a victorious life. To overcome your roadblocks, schedule an appointment with Steve Reed today.
There's going to be a lot of people that are going to need your services when they get fired. They don't know what to do with their lives.
Yeah, I'll just tell them all to enjoy the weather in Gitmo. So get over it. So, Ray, I love helping people through the life issues, whether it's dealing with an emotional trauma thing from sometimes going all the way back to when you were, 5, 6, 7, 10 years old, 12 years old, something like that, to somebody that's dealing with the aftermath from a divorce, or maybe losing their job, maybe trying to brush up on their skills to advance more, or maybe it's a business owner that's learning how to communicate better with his employees, his staff, and also his clients. I've been doing this now for 30 years and absolutely love helping people get past those roadblocks, whatever the roadblocks are. And I've got hundreds of stories that I could share. I would change the names, of course, to protect the innocent, but thank you very much. Thank you very much. So anyway, so folks, with that said, Stephen Reed Ministries, and Ray, I have been a derelict, and that is I have not put your email address up here or mine, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put yours up first. Here's your email address.
Ray at heroesinactionnow.org.
And your website?
Heroes in Action.
Oh, wait a second.
.us.
Yeah, but I just put my information up there. It's info@StephenReedMinistries.com. And here's the Ray, the Heroes in Action.us. Now, anyway, so my production skills are waning a bit today, but we'll get over it.
That's okay.
Yeah, I know. We'll get over it. Right, I've got another great video that, again, thank you, Miss Debbie, for what you have done to find these videos for us.
The second thing is that it's highly alarming that 50% of the electorate or the American people thinks that there is a two-tier justice system. What they do to Trump, they don't do to Hillary. What they do to Trump, they don't do to Biden and Hunter Biden. So it's our own responsibility and the responsibility of the news organizations that very well that they pick and choose and say, well, we're not going to cover this so much because it's not so convenient, because the people that are on the fourth floor for the Washington Post or on the sixth floor for the New York Times, they don't like Trump that much. They like Biden more. That's not the way it works in this country. That's Central America. And that's why 50% of the American electorate is not believing that the DOJ is doing an impartial, rigorous, and unbiased job. And that's the problem.
Thank you, Florida Representative.
Yes.
Maria Salazar.
Yes. So where is she? Is she down in the Miami area?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, that would make sense. So, Ray, I just want to give you a heads up. And I'm a prognosticator, I'm a fortune teller, but there is another Trump indictment that's going to be released, I would say within the next 7 days, 10 days, maybe less. And I say that because of this little snippet that I pulled out of the Daily Caller this morning, about an hour before we went on air. Hang on. I know. The House Oversight Committee, that would be James Comer, released bank records Wednesday. Today, this is August 9th, 2023, released bank records showing Hunter Biden took millions of dollars worth of payments from Russian, Ukrainian, and whatever that's
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, whatever. From oligarchs from those different countries. The committee has identified over $20 million in payments from foreign partners to the Biden family and their associates. So, Ray,
why aren't they raiding their houses? Why aren't they going after their bank records, their tax statements, and everything that they've done to Trump? That's just going to show the level of corruption that they have and get them out of power.
Ray, I've got a question for you. Maybe we should make a little wager, casting lots to see how long it's going to take for the next Trump indictment. And where it's going to come from. Is it going to come from California, or is it going to come from Georgia, Fulton County? Where's the next indictment going to come from?
Well, we know Georgia is going to be the next one. It's headed that way already.
So how long is it? Today, tomorrow? Is it next Thursday?
In order to keep this stuff, the Biden family, out of the news, I would say it'll be within this week, by the end of this week.
I think you are. I think you are spot on. Now, here's the crazy thing, Ray. There are so many conspiracy theories that are going on. I mean, there are so many conspiracies that they're saying that Trump did this, Trump did him, Russia, et cetera, et cetera. But what I'm discovering is that when you look at it, we've been right so far on everything. So they need to change things. You remember, boys, they keep calling us far right when in reality, they should be calling us right so far. Another great name.
I love it. Producer Debbie just said Representative Maria Salazar represents Miami Beach, most of Miami, Kendall, and parts of the coastal South Dade County. So thank you for what you do. And thank you, Producer Debbie.
Ray, I've got one more video I need to share. Let me share this video real quick. Then we'll go to one final commercial break.
The distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it. You could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So fewer people saw it than would have otherwise. So it definitely...
By what percentage?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful. But basically, a lot of people were still able to share it. We got a lot of complaints that was the case. Obviously this is a hyper political issue, so depending on what side of the political spectrum, you either think we didn't censor it enough or censored it way too much. But we weren't sort of as black and white about it as Twitter. We just kind of thought, hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's a very professional law enforcement, they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously.
Did they specifically say you need to be on guard about that story?
No, I don't remember if it was that specifically, but it basically fit the pattern.
Isn't that amazing? Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he admits that the FBI is coaching them on what to air or what to allow and what not to allow.
And when he says what percentage, he says it's meaningful.
Exactly.
By saying it's meaningful, you're saying it's enough of a percentage to make a difference in people's minds as to what direction they're going to go for voting for somebody for president.
Yeah, and
it's meaningful.
With
Hello?
that said, I heard a statistic not too long ago that 18% of the people that voted for Biden in the last election would not have voted for him had they known about the laptop.
Right.
18%. That would have easily pushed Donald Trump over in the official tabulation of the vote counting.
That's why I say for every indictment that they come out, Donald Trump's legal team is going to be able to dig deeper and bring all that information out into the court systems and let everyone see what the actual big picture is.
Right. Just imagine if in the trial, one of these trials, if Donald Trump's attorneys called Mark Zuckerberg to testify. And the same thing with the head of ABC, Google, YouTube, et cetera, and the former heads of Twitter. I mean, and the Washington Post and the New York Times and all of the other liberal rags that are out there. This is the dumbest move that the Democrats, liberals, communists, socialists, progressives, whatever you want to call them, the dumbest move they could have ever made, because their lives are being exposed and they are all going to be indicted on every bit of this stuff. So
let's hope so.
Ray, we got to go to one more commercial break.
Now your DFW events can be listed on the DFW events segment of OBBM Network News. New episodes posted each week are reaching people right here in your own backyard. Get in on this. Now it's affordable to reach thousands of people in new markets, offering exposure to your professional network like never before. Get us your listing by Tuesday at noon, and you'll be included in the following week's release on Monday. Email info@offbeatbusiness.com for our digital media kit and discover a better way to reach DFW. Not hosting events? Your business will benefit from the exposure our events list generates. Take advantage of brand exposure on the ticker or with the logo graphic, video advertisement, even a QR code. Click on our QR code to access our digital media kit now.
And Ray, I am told from a very reliable source that OBBM Network, based here in North Dallas, is about to release a new promo video that we will have access to very shortly that talks about the fact that they've got a nationwide footprint with OBBM Network on all the major podcast platforms, including Rumble, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Tunes, etc. And you can find us there, and you can find a lot of really great programs with OBBM Network.
And if you would like to be a sponsor on our show or on any of the other shows that are through the OBBM Network, just get a hold of Steve or myself via Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve.
Or you can contact Susan at offbeatbusiness.com. And let me put the Taboo Talk email up here, so you can get the Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve at gmail.com. So, Ray, we are very quickly, again, running out of time. What else is going on? Anything else exciting happening in your world?
There's something that I'm going to be doing. It's kind of like, it's called the Great American Speak Off. That's going to be in Miami, Florida. So I'll be driving out to Miami Friday and hopefully getting on stage Saturday for the Great American Speak Off. And what that is, it's kind of like the Voice or America's Got Talent for public speakers. We go register early in the morning. We do a 1-minute audition, and if we make it past the first round, second round is a 2-minute talk. And if they like your 2-minute talk, then they give you a golden ticket to be able to go to the finale. So I'm hoping to get past the first and second rounds and walk away with a golden ticket. I look at this as a way for me to share my brand, let people hear my message, and get the message of safety out in the public a lot more.
You know, Ray, you saying that, you saying you're going to share your brand over the past couple of weeks. Everything that I'm hearing, whether it is from the interviews last week, what was the guy's Hunter's old partner?
Producer W, if you could find that for us, that would be
great. Devin Archer.
Yeah.
And how he was talking about the Biden brand. They don't have anything to sell other than the Biden brand, which the big guy being the head of the Biden brand. So if Joe Biden wasn't a senator or the vice president, there would be absolutely zero value to the Biden brand. And that's the only reason why there was value, because they knew by getting him involved in these things, they could get millions and millions of dollars. Folks, remember, $20 million was identified by the House Oversight Committee, just released today. Oh, man, it is getting thick. It is getting deep. I'm so excited.
And as always, we hope that all of our viewers and listeners do their due diligence. Don't just go by what Steve and I say. Do your own research, do your own homework, come up with your own conclusions. Most likely you're going to come up with the conclusions that we have come up with But we want you to do your own homework. And once you get those answers, share them with your family, share them with your friends. You might ruffle some feathers like Clucky the chicken here, but at least you're opening up eyes and hopefully getting our country back on the right track of making America great again.
Ray, and let's hope and pray that a year and a half from now we will have the Donald back in the White House again.
Absolutely. I mean, it's, if you get a chance to go to a Trump rally, go to a Trump rally. You will not be disappointed.
Absolutely, Ray. I think we have come to the end of our time, and it's been another fun show. So we got more coming. So, folks, stay tuned. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, executive producer Debbie. Once again, a marvelous job in helping us make this a successful show. Ray,
we will
have a
see
super
you
day.
guys next week.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. If you have suggestions for topics you would like us to discuss, or you would like to become a sponsor, reach out to us today at tabootalkwithrayansteve@gmail.com. In the meantime, check out the other amazing programs on OBBM Network on all your favorite podcast platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Join us again for another fun and informative opinion-based episode. This is Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve.